Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to my channel, Scale Model Kit Review. I am back with another part work build. This time it is from FanHome. FanHome has sent me the Millennium Falcon to build. It's a fantastic kit. It's studio scale, 1/43rd scale. It's actually a direct replica of the studio miniature from The Empire Strikes Back. Now, ain't that fantastic? I think it is. So if you haven't done so already, head over to FanHome and subscribe to this build today. Get it while you can. It's the most iconic part work kit out there, and you won't regret it. It's a fantastic kit. I did receive the first two parts packs with this, and you can see right there, parts pack 1 and parts pack number 2. And I got some other stuff to show you, so go to my bench and I'll show you what also came with the first pack. Here's the literature that came in the pack. We have a nice introductory pamphlet here. Stage 1, Stage 2, and really cool blueprint, along with a very nice welcome letter from FanHome. And the parts themselves, we have parts pack number 1 for Stage 1, and parts pack number 2 for Stage 2. Let's look at the pamphlet. And here's the pamphlet. It's a nice fold-out poster size pamphlet. And what's really cool is the inside here. Shows you the Millennium Falcon itself, tells us it has working light effects, moving parts, interior details, and cockpit internals. And like I was saying, this comes directly from The Empire Strikes Back. It's the Millennium Falcon that was used in that movie, so it's studio scale for that. There were many of them that were used in the movies, but this is the direct copy of that. So that's the pamphlet there. It does measure 32 inches, and they say it's 43rd scale. And of course, this is your magazine you'll receive with each stage. It has wonderful articles. A lot of research was done into this magazine. But what's important here for you are your instructions. So the instructions are very detailed and easy to follow. Lots of photographs, step by step. I mean, you can't go wrong here when you're building this. And lastly, we have the blueprints they give you. Poster size, suitable for hanging up on your wall. And this is huge. I'm not going to be able to show you everything in this video, but it's a fantastic recreation of the blueprints from the Millennium Falcon. And you can see here, it's going to be bigger than the screen is. And the true size of the Falcon is bigger than my bench. And you can see that stretches all the way across my bench, and that's the 1:1 scale that you'll receive as the model kit. So that's impressive there. You get this folded up, but that's the studio scale Millennium Falcon, the blueprints for it. So like I said, head over to FanHome. I put a direct link below, and I put some other links in there to help you with your subscription, because they do have excellent customer service and they are willing to answer all your questions. As a matter of fact, I've received several kits from FanHome and I haven't had any problems whatsoever from FanHome. Their customer service is second to none, so I would highly recommend them. So let's go ahead and get started with stage number 1, or issue 1. And just to show you what the magazine looks like here, just real quick, we'll flip through the pages. Looking good there. Gun controls, the cockpit, the cannons, your first parts illustrated here. Step-by-step instructions for the cockpit bulkhead, laser cannons, and such. There you go. Let's get a closer look at the instructions. And you can see here our first parts component checklist, where the parts set, assembling the cockpit bulkhead, And they talk about the greeblies. Next we assemble the quad laser cannon. Very easy to follow and do there. Continuing on the other side. And you can see just how easy it is. Let me get the parts. We'll get a closer look at those. Here's the parts for stage 1. Very nicely protected in this blister pack. And here's the first set of parts. This is the first part of the ABS plastic cover. Pre-painted, pre-finished. Very nice. And the quad guns, made out of metal. They are very cool there. All the parts for that. The screws for those. And the parts for the flight deck or the cockpit. And this is a decal that's going to go on top of that. And then of course we have the floor of the cockpit. All of this is made of plastic. And here's the framing or the superstructure for the Millennium Falcon. It's just like the real studio models that Industrial Light and Magic made. It is made out of metal, aluminum. First thing I'll do is I'll assemble the cockpit bulkhead, and this is a decal that goes right on the top of that. So we need to peel the backing away from the decal. And it's that simple. So once the backing has been removed, we can go ahead and take and put our tabs, put it through the tabs on the floor. So you know that will fit there. And then I'm going to take and line up the backing. And press it down. So I know for a fact that now it's lined up like it should be. And to show you what that looks like with lights shining through it. And to show you what this looks like with the lights shining through the backside. Very cool. That looks good there. Now to assemble the quad laser cannon, and we're going to take this and we're just going to put that down just like that. Notice where that tab is. We're going to do the same on the other side, and that's how that looks there. Once you have those in place, set it down on the mat like I did here, and grab your laser cannon that has that little notch right there and set that down on top. Just like that. Then the other part of the quad cannon, we want to turn that over to where your screw holes show, and they are threaded. Put that on top and put those small screws into this. You can use your screwdriver that you received in stage 2. I'm using a Wera PHOO screwdriver. And the last one. Just make sure they're all tight when you're done. No oils required because they are threaded. There you go. All done. That's what that looks like. And that completes stage 1. I did complete the quad gun, and that was very simple to do. And the decal for the aft bulkhead. These are the leftover parts. Let's get started on stage 2. Here's a magazine for stage 2. Let's flip through the pages just real quick. Chewbacca. Very cool instrument panel. Our next parts we received, assembling the hull frames and assembling the hologram board, applying more decals to the instrument panel. Very cool. Let's look at the instructions real close. And here's the listing of our next parts. This is where they go. Assembling the whole frames. Continuing with that. Assembling the hologram board. Applying the instrument panel. And the quad laser assembly. And a little bit of information here on the color-coded screws. And what can be really helpful to you is this little diagram here on how the frame pieces go together. Here's stage 2 parts. Let's get a closer look. And here's a quad laser turret. It's already pre-painted, has all the blast marks and such on it. That's fantastic looking. It is made out of ABS plastic. It's very nice. We're going to do a little quick mod to this towards the end of the video, so it won't take long. And here are those parts. 2 more pieces of the hull framing made of aluminum. Very nice there. The hologram board with the decal for the top of it. The support braces for the hull framing, we'll see how those work. And the instrument panel with decals. And some screws. Also received the screwdriver. You probably used it in stage 1. And here's all the hull framing parts. TF1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to assemble 3 and 4 first. Alright, we have 3 and 4 right here. I'm going to flip this over. Going to put the first bracket on. Just going to leave it loose, not real tight. Put the next bracket on. And the easiest way is just to get it started like that. Going to leave it loose. And then the next bracket is going to mount up to it. And just remember the brackets are threaded already. You don't have to use any oil. Now I'll tighten them all down. That's how that looks there. That easy. Another small bracket. And again, a larger 4-hole bracket. Get that lined up. And tighten these down. You don't have to make them too snug because you may have to loosen them to install the next brackets. Install the larger bracket. And a smaller bracket. Next frame is lined up. Put the screw into that bracket. And the next one. Snug them all down. Looks good there. And there's your hull frames all assembled. That's how they look. Looks great. Next they want me to test fit the hull plate, and that's going to go down just on top there. You're going to line the tabs up and make sure everything looks good there, and it does. Perfect. Now it's time to assemble the hologram board. We're going to put this decal on it. Peel back the backing. And it goes on a certain way. You want to make sure the black lines match those cutouts. And they do. Push that down. That's how that looks there. So your black lines match this cutout here and that cutout there. It's the same on both sides. Now let's work on the instrument panel. Next, I'm going to go ahead and put the sticker on the instrument panel. We want to make sure we line up the holes here because that's for the knobs and switches. And you can see it's concave there a little bit. So I'm going to get a straight edge and I'm going to bend this a little bit. You could use a ruler. I'm going to use this hold and fold assembly for that. I'm just going to line it up to where the silver is. Where that ends. Take my blade here, slide it under, and I'm just going to bend it. Give it a bend. And that's going to help it lay down better on the panel. Peel back the backing. Take my panel, give myself a little bit of light there before I put the sticker on it, and I can kind of gauge where the sticker lays down on this by seeing where the holes are. Perfect. Press it down. And you can see they're lined up. Next, to bring over the cockpit floor, I'm going to test fit the panel on those pins. That's what that looks like, and that's what that looks like there. And bring over the quad gun, and it simply just mounts in that little hole right there. And that's how that looks. Perfect test fit. Last thing I'm going to do in this stage is modify the quad laser turret. The window frames aren't correct. This is very easy to do. I already did it as I broke loose the frames very carefully. It's just super glued down. And I'm going to remove the frame. I'm going to take this tab, I'm going to cut that off because we need to turn it. Okay. Just like that. And then take the frame, and we want to turn it to now it's lined up where your frames look like that now. And all you have to do is super glue it. I'm going to super glue from underneath. Capillary action will get it where it needs to go. Take some kicker and hold it for about 5 to 8 seconds. And be careful you don't get the kicker on the paint on the other side because it could remove the paint. And there you go. Frames are positioned the way they should be now. Very easy modification. Plug my gun back in. That looks good. And there you go. That's how that looks. I'll be right back. And that completes pack 1 of the FanHome Millennium Falcon. And everything here was very easy to build. The instructions are very easy to follow. I had a blast doing this. Very nice, very impressive. The cockpit. Very nice. If you would like to get your own copy of this started, I put a direct link in the description below on where you can go to FanHome to subscribe to this. Check it out and see what they offer. It's a fantastic build, and I highly recommend it. If you like my content, please subscribe to my channel and smash the like button. Happy modeling, everybody, and take care.